بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. We continue reading from Imam Al-Ghazali's Jawahir Qur'an wa Durar, the jewels of the Quran and spheres. We're still reading from Surah An-Nisa. We have reached the verse 31, and the very last thing that we addressed in the at the end of the last session was the grave sins, al-kaba'ir, and there was a hadith mentioned by both Bukhari and Muslim where these grave sins include shirk billah, associating anything or anyone with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, magic, as-sihr, and that entails disbelief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, killing the innocent, the usury, which is nowadays is interest, the devouring the money, the orphans' money. We said that confiscating, cheating, stealing, whatever way, that's a grave sin. Number 6 was to running away during fights, legitimate fights, to defend one's land, one's country, one's honor, one's property. But the tawalli yawm zahf, this is when armies face each other or whatever form, when that is legitimate. Okay, I say when that is legitimate. A very sad story, inshallah with a happy ending now. A Syrian captain refused to bomb his own people about 40 years ago. He spent 40 years in jail, and probably he would have died in jail, wallahu alam, had it not been for the end of Bashar al-Assad's regime. And number 7, Qadr al-Muhsanat, really accusing the chaste woman of adultery, of undermining their honor. That's also a grave sin. Scholars would say that this hadith does not preclude the presence of or the existence of other grave sins, even when they are not mentioned in this hadith. For example, drinking alcohol is considered the mother of all evil. And that's a grave sin. There was someone in the past from amongst the children of Israel. They say that it was a king. Sometimes they say a worshipper from the people of the book. In this text here, that the companions they mentioned that in the presence of the Prophet ﷺ, there was a king from the children of Israel who took a man, and he gave them option: either he would drink wine, or he would kill an innocent soul, innocent person, or that he would commit adultery, or that he would eat pork, or um, so the idea is he was given many choices. He chose to drink wine, thinking that this is the lesser evil. Once he drank wine and he got drunk, he did all the other options. So he killed, he committed adultery, he ate pork, etc. There's another form of this. I would say anecdote. Really, does not. حقوق الوالدين, dishonoring one's parents, is a grave sin. Honoring parents is mentioned in the Quran immediately after the Tawheed, believing in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The relationship with them, as long as they don't, if they ask you to do something to violate the law, to do something un-Islamic or unethical or something prohibited, then you don't obey them. Other than this, you would honor your parents. So dishonoring parents is a grave sin. Some of the other things, for example, false witnessing, shahadat al-zur, that's a grave sin. One might add some of the things that we have today and did not have then, by analogy, using drugs, heavy drugs, like cocaine, what have you. That's a grave sin, because even once, if one stops drinking alcohol, for example, after a while one might be okay to a certain degree, but the consumption of heavy drugs, they destroy one's brains. Of course, the scans of the brains of people who use heavy drugs show literally damaged brains. And damaged brain means that some of the aims of the law are violated. For example, usually such bad habits, addictions, go hand in hand with destroying one's wealth, of one's family's wealth. They might start stealing, they might prostitute themselves. It's a long story. And destroying the intellect itself, which is one of the aims of the law, is to protect the intellect, al-aql. Taking oath wrongfully, al-yamin al-ghamus. So I would mention a book simply to prove the point. There is a book by Ibn Hajar, rahimahullah, الزواجر عن اقتراف الكبائر. In this book, Ibn Hajar listed some 460, approximately about 460 grave sins. And one might, usually when we talk about grave sins, we think about the things that are performed seen, heard, etc., But there's another list of grave sins. They take place in the heart. Hypocrisy, for example. So there are certain the affairs of the heart. One can think of a long list of grave sins. Egoism might be extremely problematic on this list, etc. The amongst the grave sins, of course, goes without saying, insulting the prophets, the messengers, um, insulting religion. There's a mention of disbelief, injustice within the parameters of the Haram in Mecca. It's not only the mosque, but it does include the mosque. The Haram extends way outside the area where things are prohibited. This is as again the list of grave sins. So the idea here, go back to the verse where verse 31 says, if you avoid the major sins forbidden to you, we will absolve you of your lesser misdeeds. It says your misdeeds, meaning the minor ones, the small ones. Gossiping is a major sin. That's the one is better off just simply steering away from sin. But if one avoids and this is the intention to avoid the grave sins, and one can think about Surah Al-Furqan, where after mentioning two grave sins there, which is killing the innocent, and adultery, which is a grave sin, except that if one repents, believes, and does good, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn their bad deeds, their sins, into good deeds on the record. So not only wiping them out, but they will be changed. And of course, if one relapses to sin, that original forgiveness and the wiping of the record, they are going to be reinstated on one's record if one relapses, simply to encourage people to give up on such a way of life. And do not wish, do not covet ولا تتمنوا ما فضل الله به بعضكم على بعض للرجال نصيب مما اكتسبوا وللنساء نصيب مما اكتسبن واسألوا الله من فضله إن الله كان بكل شيء عليما. And do not crave what Allah has given some of you over others. Men will be rewarded according to their deeds, and women equally, of course, women according to theirs. Rather ask Allah for His bounties. Surely Allah has perfect knowledge of all things. If you like what someone has, just pray for them in the sense of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless what He has given them. Don't covet that. Don't envy. Don't wish them ill. And the one who gave them is the one whom you can ask for the same or better. When Zechariah, peace be upon him, entered into the presence of Maryam alayhi salam in her place of worship, every time he was entrusted with bringing basically food, provisions to her, and he would find already that food was there, and he asked her about the whereabouts of this food. She said, "This is from God." and everything, every food in the universe is from God. Every sustenance is from God. Every gift, good, wholesome, is from God. But she meant it is directly from God. It's not through the, that if you till the land, if you sow the seeds, if you irrigate, if you weed, if you take care of your crops, and ultimately there's a good yield, it is still from God. But she meant it is from God. And that was a reminder to Sayyidina Zakaria salam. He asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for offspring. It's not that he asked for food, or he asked for offspring. That's what he needed. People forget. Turn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask. And there's also something. Do pray. Do pray for people. Supplicate. And something good, beautiful, wholesome. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to provide them to and the angels would respond by saying, and to you the same. وَلَكُمْ مِثْلُهُ. Yes. So do not wish, do not crave what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given some of you over the others. The there's something beautiful about you should provide for the woman. I'm talking about within within a marriage relationship. You are qawwam. It's your responsibility. Do not really look at her. Even if she's a billionaire, you have no right to her money. You should still provide for her. This is something that is her money is her money. Your money as a husband is your money as a family. No coveting and no craving for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives people different gifts. It could be money, it could be health, it could be knowledge. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from this fadl, من فضله ما فضل الله به بعضكم على بعض واسأل الله من فضله إن الله كان بكل شيء عليما. Remember, there's a verse in the Qur'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also, since we talk about the men and women, أني لا أضيع عمل عامل منكم من ذكر أو أنثى. Maybe I should say the following. Some men are better than some men. Some men are better than some women. Some women are better than some women, and some women are better than some men. And that's in both the material and spiritual realm. Materially, some men will be better than others. Spiritually, some men will be better than others. And the same thing applies to women. Some women will be better than others in terms of other women in terms of wealth, material wealth, and some women will be better in spiritually, so better than men also. How many women pray at night the Qiyam al-Layl? How many women fast the Mondays and Thursdays and other voluntary days, like the 3 days in the middle of the month, the the pure, sometimes they call them the white, and we talk about the lunar month, of course. Uh, how many women donate? In fact, if you read about endowments, including in Jerusalem, his very large endowments were donated by women to support education institutions in Jerusalem, for example, to support Al-Aqsa Mosque. They were the donations of women. So this is simply a glimpse of what women could do. So do not crave what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give one another. And I think one of the things is simply to be content and to love the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. You have been created like this for a purpose. One of the scholars said, I think it was Imam Sha'rawi, the famous Egyptian modern scholar, rahimahullah, who said that men, because they were created directly from earth, Adam alayhi salam, this is the story of Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, they deal with earth, they deal with animals, they deal with, but also they deal with human beings. Women, since they were created from, like Hawa was created from Adam's loin, she is meant to deal with human beings. Not that she does not have chores or she does not tend to anything, but primarily, the dealing with the difficult things is meant for men. This is not a male chauvinist or a macho position. This is honoring women, something that there is absolutely nothing wrong with being a housewife. She doesn't have to, a woman doesn't have to work two shifts, one outside the family, another one after she comes home. Just think about it. And there's no need for you to imitate men and look like men and to be in suit, with the very short haircut and just imitating the way men um, look. There's no need for that. Just be happy with being a woman. Celebrate that. Say Alhamdulillah. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Inshallah, we'll continue in the next session with another selection of that Imam Ghazali has. These will be verses 36 to 41, inshallah. Until then, subhanakallah wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.